With everything that's coming to Xbox Game Pass in April, you'd be a fool not to pick up a subscription. We've got detective agencies, chaotic amulets, and 2 different kinds of stickball. So, without further ado, let's dive straight into everything that has been confirmed so far.
If you don't like cricket, you love it, then rejoice because Cricket 22 has bowled its way onto Xbox Game Pass. Cricket 22 is one of those titles that has been optimized for Xbox Series X and S, with load times that will get you into the action quicker than a Shoei Bakhtar fastball. And if that reference went right over your head, then fear not. Cricket 22 is the most accessible game in the series yet, with a completely overhauled set of tutorials to help you learn the ins and outs of innings and outs. For the most seasoned players, there is also a meaty career mode to dig into, which puts you in charge of the whole show, navigating everything from training regimes to press conferences on your way to cricketing stardom.
There are few series better at giving us the feels than Life is Strange, and the latest installment, True Colors, might be the most emotionally charged yet. In this narrative adventure, you play as Alex Chen, a young girl with a troubled past and a supernatural ability that allows her to see and alter the emotions of those around her. In many ways, the original empath. After 8 years of separation, she is reunited with her older brother in a sleepy mountain town called Haven Springs. In no time at all though, her newfound tranquility is blown apart by a tragedy that reveals a dark conspiracy running deep beneath the town's cheerful facade. By using Alex's powers and making dialogue choices, the player gets to play a role in shaping the story, allowing its more powerful moments to resonate even more loudly. A game that is basically all about empathy, True Colors is sure to leave you with a lot to think about. Once you've dried your eyes, that is.
Chinatown Detective Agency is another intriguing indie title from Humble Games. Set in a cyber-noir version of Singapore, you play as an up-and-coming private investigator who's just trying to pay her bills while the world falls apart around her. I mean really, whom among us can't relate? However, unlike traditional point-and-click adventures, the cases you take on will often require you to bring in knowledge from outside the game to solve them, with references to books, historical events, and other real-world factoids. The other thing which sets it apart is the emphasis on time and money management. It's all well and good to jet across the globe to take on a lucrative case, but you'll need to make the money to buy the plane ticket and make sure you turn up on time for the flight. Otherwise, you'll be less Sherlock Holmes and more Sherlock Holmeless. Looking for an easy ride? Forget it. It's Chinatown Detective Agency.
Next up, we've got Lost in Random, a dark fairy tale in which a person's entire life can be changed by the roll of a dice. The game takes place in a macabre Burton-esque realm in which each person has to roll a dice on their 12th birthday. Roll high and they could be whisked away to a life of luxury in Sixtopia. Roll low and the slums of Onecroft await. Get it? Both of those are numbers. One day, a girl named Even decides that this is actually a really rubbish way to do things and sets out to topple the Wicked Queen with a little help from her newest friend, a magical dice named Dicey. Yep. By combining their talents in battle, you can unlock all sorts of boons and special abilities, giving you the chance to upset the odds and start making things a little more even. Just like her name. From its gorgeous Nightmare Before Christmas style visuals to its innovative combat system, everything about Lost in Random will make you feel lucky to own an Xbox Game Pass membership.
It's time to let MLB take us down to the ballpark once again with MLB The Show 22 arriving on Xbox Game Pass on April 5th. This year's edition is looking slicker than a freshly pressed Yankees uniform, especially on the Xbox Series X where it runs in beautifully smooth dynamic 4K and 60 FPS. They've also fine-tuned the mechanics for pitching, hitting, fielding, and, well, basically all the things you're legally allowed to do during a regulation baseball match. And for those who are just stepping up to the plate for the very first time, 2 new difficulty modes have been added to help ease them into the big time. With the dynamic difficulty system returning if you want the game to automatically adapt to your skill level. So whether you're a rookie or a Hall of Famer, MLB The Show looks set to have its greatest season yet.
An Xbox Game Pass Ultimate membership comes with 2 pretty amazing power-ups: access to EA Play's vast library of games and the ability to stream a ton of titles using the cloud. And this month, those 2 features will be working in perfect harmony to bring Star Wars Squadrons to the cloud. In this first-person space combat game, you get to hop into the cockpit of all kinds of iconic Star Wars vehicles. And even better, you then get to blast a whole bunch of other iconic Star Wars vehicles into tiny little pieces. But this isn't just on rails, it requires you to strategize, manage your power and speed wisely, and aim like the Force is on your side. From the Empire's TIE fighters to the New Republic's X-Wings, every spaceship has been meticulously engineered to look, sound, and fly just like they did in the movies. And things look even better on the Xbox Series X and S, where you can zip around in beautifully smooth 120 FPS. Just don't get cocky.
Much like the recent Magical Borderlands spin-off Tiny Tina's Wonderlands, the whole of Dungeon of Nalbec is a loving parody of a tabletop fantasy game, and all its various cliches. So naturally that means you'll be assembling a party of adventurers, setting off on a quest to collect a series of magical thingamajigs and battling evil monsters along the way. And while you're fending off the forces of evil in XCOM-style turn-based combat, you can expect your party to fill the air with gags, insults, and pop culture references. The game's visuals are no laughing matter though, especially on the Xbox Series X and S, where they have been given an additional next-gen shine-up. So, if you're looking for an epic quest but also want a little bit of a giggle, head directly to the Dungeon of Nalbec.
So there you have it, your sneak glimpse at what's coming up on Game Pass in the coming weeks. Which game are you the most excited for? Let me know down in the comments below. In the meantime, give us a like, a subscribe, and ring that bell for more Game Pass updates and everything Xbox. Bye!